I'm Kev, and I have no idea what my best 11 is, but somehow we seem to be overperforming. Hello and welcome to part 58 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two matches. Macclesfield and Wycombe, both at home, both in League 2. Since you were last with me, form's been middling, indifferent, but we are 11th in the league after 11 games. Only 3 points outside of the playoffs, 10 points clear of relegation. Things are going well. I have no idea what my best team is, though. I've played so many combinations of players. I think we might have signed... I don't want to say we signed too many because we did exactly the same thing last season, but I think we've signed a better calibre of player this time round. And because of that, I'm trying more of them. If we go to the actual squad screen and just have a look at how many players have... Bear in mind, we've only played 11 games. How many players have already had a game? So there's the ones you would expect who are playing every game. Anderson, Sawyer, Fisher, McDonald. Let's get rid of the ones who are out on loan. No, I want to see the ones we've got. Get rid of unavailable, maybe. Ball, Nadat has played a lot of games, as I'm trying to decide between him and Can. But then you get into the players who are playing most of the time, like Taylor, Hurd, Squire, Bill. And then there's the ones who I just don't know if they're the right players or not. Worrell, Briscoe, Scott, Chambers, Shaw, Can, Ince. I mean, Rowan Ince have only played 4 times because I don't know if he's any good, really. Sampson, Laskowski, New Omar, I mean, look, it goes on and on and on. I've tried so many players. There is one player I haven't yet tried. Perhaps he needs to go onto the bench for today. This is going to be the team for the first of today's 2 games. We're against Macclesfield. I do need to bring him onto the bench. He's not appeared at all in the Football League yet, and that just doesn't feel like a situation I can allow to continue. So let's get Sir Tom onto the bench. So this is our 11. We've got Nadat in goal, a back four of Anderson, Laskowski, Sawyer and Worrell, Bristow, not Briscoe. Too many names. Squire, Bill, Taylor and Herder in midfield, with Ball in behind McDonald and Fisher. Because why not? It will probably be a completely different team that you see in the second of the 2 games. Because I just haven't got a clue. I don't know what our best 11 is. And it's not that we're losing and I'm scratching around trying to find options that are working. We're winning more games than we're losing. Even though I'm rotating players around, trying different things and trying to find superstars. Like you, I was raving about New Omar in the last episode. He played the next 3 games, wasn't really any good. We know he's got something. It's not something he's going to show us all the time though. And I think that's what we're going to have with a lot of these younger players, is they're going to be very, very erratic with their form and they need game time. So perhaps the trick to it is don't be afraid to bin them off quickly if they have a few games that don't work. Or is that the opposite of what the trick is? Am I supposed to decide who my best midfielders are and play them until I break them, even though I've got like 8 options? I don't like having such. I don't know how we've ended up with such a big squad. I know exactly how we've ended up with such a big squad. However, I didn't expect to have so many of them pressing for first team opportunities. They're all very similar standard. I think last year we brought in a lot of youngsters who weren't good enough to come into our team yet, and the ones who were close, we sent them out on loan, whereas this year we don't seem to have had as many loan offers come in, weirdly, even though we're in League 2. So the ones who would have been fringe players who got loaned out last year, like Worrell, Bristow as an example, we're not getting offers for this time around, so they're sort of hovering around the squad, and I'm giving them opportunities because of it. McDonald did quite well to get to that ball and then just kind of stopped and didn't run on with it, which was a little bit weird. Squire Bill's picked up a knock. We should perhaps bring his mentor on. Fisher's just scored, made it 1-0. And if Squire Bill has got a knock, I mean, it does feel like an opportunity to give Sir Tom Elliott his Football League debut. He has been mentoring Squire Bill. He's the reason Squire Bill is as good as he is. So perhaps Sir Tom Elliott comes on at half-time if Squire Bill needs to come forward. I think we've got Fernando Sampson on the bench, who, again, is someone who I've given him quite a lot of game time. He's looking quite good. But you lot are here. If you lot weren't watching, Sir Tom Elliott wouldn't even be on the bench. But I feel a responsibility to give him some game time. So let's get him on. Sir Tom, there you go. Football League debut. on the left-hand side of midfield as the Carrilero. You've done it many times before. Show me once again. Oh, there he is. His first touch in the Football League. Show me once again why I need to have a little bit more faith in you, because we're 12 games in. You've never gone 12 games without appearing for us before. I've often started a season without you as my first choice, but it's never taken me this long to resort to using you. And there he is, Sir Tom Elliott, plays it to Ball, over the top to McDonald. Surely we're going to give Sir Tom an assist by proxy. I know it went through Ball as well, but Sir Tom Elliott started that move, and McDonald makes it 2-0. And like I said, we just, even though I quite clearly and openly don't really know what's going on, we're just winning matches. It's weird. I'm starting to think the longer this insane run goes on, the higher the I won't say probability, but possibility maybe, that we could even get in the playoffs in our first season in the Football League, which we're not thinking about that yet. Ball over the top, Fisher chases, and the last ditch tackle. I mean, obviously normally I would call for a penalty there, but even I can acknowledge that was quite a good tackle. And I think this is Sir Tom Elliott trying to get a tackle in. He does. Look at that from Sir Tom. He's a Football League player. Why have I not been playing him? Hurd now. That was poor from Hurd. And perhaps Hurd's the one who can miss out to get Sampson onto the pitch so that we can have some more Sir Tom time. That felt offside. But it seems like it's been given, which I find that quite troubling. Let's have a look on the replay. Perhaps it looked like they touched it again in the penalty area and thus making it offside. So cross comes in. It's knocked down there. Did that maybe come off our player? Because that nod down there, that looked offside to me. I'm sure people will tweet me screenshots of the lines on the pitch that you draw on there to show me when I'm right or wrong, but that felt offside. Hurd! Oh, it's a quite impressive shot off the frame of the goal and cleared. Sir Tom Elliott's getting himself very involved, and I like the fact he's so involved. He's Sir Tom Elliott. That's what he's going to do. Right, Hurd can come off for Sampson, as previously discussed. And Sawyer is on a yellow card and not playing well. I think we'll bring on Philip Burns for him, who's another guy who, I mean, I've played him a couple of times in midfield. I think this is the first time I've played him as a centre-back. I just don't know who my best players are. I think as the season goes on, our best team will start to emerge and you'll start to get used to some of the names and faces. But at the moment, I could just be rolling a dice before the matches start sometimes. Right, Fisher. That was poor from Fisher. Because I'm looking at this thinking, well, I've got Mason and Scott on the bench. Yeah, the front two have both scored, but they've been quite wasteful as well. When does Livesey Mason get a proper run in the team? He's had a couple of substitute appearances. He's scored in the league for us already, but I don't think I've started him yet. Sedwin Scott's scoring almost a goal a game when he starts. Sampson to Fisher, and Fisher misses another good opportunity. And I just wonder, would it be 3 or 4-0 if we had Scott and Mason in the team rather than Fisher and McDonald? It's difficult. So Tom Elliott to Ball again to McDonald. Sampson getting very involved. I like it. So Tom into Ball, and Ball just gives up possession. But Burns with a great piece of defending, and Sir Tom Elliott out to Anderson, the two longest serving players at the club. Sir Tom plays it into McDonald, and McDonald should have scored. Sir Tom Elliott deserves to have a Football League assist to his name. And now it's Anderson with the throw. Finds Taylor. Back to Ball. McDonald. Sir Tom Elliott has scored in the Football League! Oh, it's gone down as an own goal. Well, at least he gets his assist. That is a Sir Tom Elliott goal every day of the week. Let's have a look. I know it's taken a massive deflection. Match announcer, you're announcing that as Sir Tom. He hasn't even earned an assist for that. That's just disgraceful. But he has been he's not looked out of place. He's not looked out of his depth playing in the league. So perhaps I need to have a little bit more faith in him. You know, he's only played 300 games for us previously. I should probably give him a few more. So Tom plays Taylor in. He's been involved in every highlight since he came on at half-time. I don't know that maybe Ball is the only other player you could say that about. But Sir Tom Elliott is covering some ground. And that game ends with us just 2 points outside of the playoffs, with the chance of our second home game of the episode to end an episode at like the quarter point of the season, just beyond the quarter point of the season, in a playoff spot, which would be crazy. Sir Tom Elliott with a corner now. Is this match ever going to end? We've had 90 seconds time added on at the end of the time added on. But it does finally, and we had 24 shots in that game. We're just playing very, very well at the moment. And hopefully we can continue that form against Wycombe. Right, I'm trying something revolutionary for this game. I always behave myself when you lot are watching, but I've made just one change. I've not made sweeping changes. I still don't know who my best right back is though. So Williams comes back in at the expense of Worrell Bristow. So Tom Elliott is still on the bench. Don't worry. And we'll get into the match. But Williams probably is the better of the two. But Worrell Bristow has all that potential that he's had ever since we first signed him. That I guess he's... Because we've not got the training facilities and the youth development facilities and all that stuff, a lot of these players who come in with massive potential, unless they've got a massive pile of determination and whatever else you need to become good, unless they're going to go and do it by themselves, like I guess the likes of Williams and Sawyer have done, then being at Nuneaton isn't going to make you good because we don't have the facilities to help develop a player. So I guess almost accidentally, by our terrible lack of facilities, we're making it so that the ones who break into the team are the ones who are going to work hardest, which then means we've got a good work ethic as a first team, which I guess is why we're on a good run of form. Squire Bill across to Hurd. Oh, it's another massive deflection. Why does that one get awarded to Nyron Hurd? Because I would argue that's a bigger deflection than Sir Tom Elliott's in the last game. But why is that awarded to him, but Sir Tom has his debut Football League goal robbed from him? Look at the state of this. That is a much bigger deflection. Why is that a goal for Hurd? There is no justice in the world. There might be a Justice for Sir Tom t-shirt hitting the merch store very, very soon. Because I can't believe that's just happened. I also can't believe that's just happened. What on earth was that? Oh, it's been disallowed. That's all right then. Because that was just mad. And they're having another shot from range. They've decided they can beat Nadat from anywhere on the pitch. So they're just going to fire the ball at him from anywhere and everywhere. I know as well. You all want me to be playing Mike Payne in goal. I like Nadat. Nadat played for us at Wembley. I don't like to completely discard players unless I'm absolutely sure I've exhausted I've given them every opportunity I can possibly give them. I think Nadat might be reaching that point because he's not playing particularly well today. But he's got potential. I know he's only here on loan, but we've heard that loan players might come back and join us permanently. We've seen with Redhead and Ball that it's possible to get players on loan for multiple seasons. We saw in Non-League to Legend, I had people like Barry Scott. Barry Scott was on loan at Portsmouth for like 4 seasons. So just because he's on loan doesn't mean he won't be here for the next 2 or 3 years, potentially for longer than Mike Payne might be here. So I'm going to treat him as if he's a permanent player, like I do with all the other loanees. Same with McDonald and Fisher. That's why they're starting ahead of Scott and Mason, because yeah, they're on loan, but they're scoring goals. So I'm going to keep starting them until they stop scoring goals. Then we'll bring in other players who might score goals and give them an opportunity. But I'm not going to just play my own players because they're my own players. Or else what's the point of bringing someone in on loan? I want the best possible team. We're not playing anywhere near as well in this match as we did in the last one. Only the 7 shots so far. Not created a clear-cut chance yet. What's the difference, I hear you ask? The difference is Sir Tom Elliott's not on the pitch yet. So we're going to give 15. We'll wait 15 minutes, and then we're keeping an eye on this entire midfield. Taylor at the moment is the one whose place is under threat, and we could end up with Sir Tom Elliott and Squire Bill in the same midfield, which has never happened before. So, Nadat actually made a save, but then, I don't really know what he was doing there. I say he made a save. It hit his leg and bounced back out. And then he's got, I've done my job. It hit my leg. I'm just going to stand here and let the match carry on around me. So he does well here, accidentally. And then he's just literally standing there, hands by his sides. Football, eh? I like the football. Glad I'm here. Absolutely oblivious to what's going on around him. Right, Taylor off. Sir Tom on. Sir Tom wants to be a deep line playmaker, does he? I've never actually given him the opportunity to play there, but if he wants to do it, Sir Tom, you play where you want to play. We're going to bring on Sedwin Scott as well, and I might bring on Livesey Mason. Have we got anyone who's going to be better at attacking midfield than Mason is? Yeah, we're going to do that. So we're going Scott and Mason up front with Fisher in behind as we with half an hour to go. Whoops! I was only supposed to be making the one change then. Let's go attacking for half an hour with our loads of strikers on the pitch and Sir Tom in midfield and see what we can come up with. Sir Tom hasn't been as involved as he often is when he's playing as the Carolero, but there he is, Sir Tom Elliott. I mean, almost another deflected goal. I mean, that one I would have allowed to have been an own goal because it was clearly a cross that got deflected towards the goal. But Sir Tom, look at that for a tackle. It's not his fault that it ended up back with the opposition again. The defenders should have been covering. So Tom Elliott is a superhero. Are we just... I mean, why are we not getting any highlights? I don't get what's happening. Right, so Tom Elliott with the corner doesn't beat the first man, but Squire Bill was there squiring the corner and picking up the pieces, and that is a shot from 35 yards out that hits the post. We still haven't created a clear-cut chance yet, but we do have these little flashes of brilliance. What just happened? Sawyer was tripped. Now, they're going to get a player sent off for a weird trip in the penalty area. I would have rather they just let play continue because he was coming away with the ball. Even after he got tripped, got back up again, he still had the ball. And we had a counter-attack on. As it is, play gets stopped. Yes, they're down to 10 men. But that's just going to make them put loads of men behind the ball and we're not even going to get another highlight. Ridiculous. Scott can't win a header because he's 5'4" or whatever he is. And well, there you go. You've seen us at our best and at our worst. And that's what this season has been like so far. I didn't change the team at all because they played so well the game before. Or I made one change. And then we were rubbish. So now I'm going to change the team for Oxford. We'll probably play well again. And we're so inconsistent. None of it matters because this is what's important. Mid-table this year will be massive. And that's where we are. So we just need to keep on doing what we're doing. But I still don't know who my best team is. Let me know down in the comments who my best team is, because I don't know. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.